Hello students, welcome to Networking Lab class. This is for 4th semester IT students. On today's class, I will be going to discuss about IPv4 and IPv6 concept. So here we will be discuss about the IPv4 and v6 quality, security and their services. What is IP? An IP stands for Internet Protocol. An IP address is assigned to each device connected to a network. Each device uses an IP address for their communication. So without an IP address, we can't communicate in between the system. It also behaves as an identifier, as this is an address which is used to identify the device on a network. It defines the technical format of the packet, mainly both the networks, that is your IP and your TCP, and these are combined together, so by together they are referred to as a TCP IP. It creates a virtual connection between the source and the destination. Now discuss about IPv4. What is that? IPv4 produced 4.3 billion addresses, and the developer think that these addresses are enough, but they were wrong. What about your IPv6? IPv6 is the next generation of IP address. Okay, so after v4 the v6 is arise. And what is the major difference between v4 and v6? The main difference between v4 and v6 is the address size of IP addresses. The IPv4 is a 32-bit address, whereas v6 is a 128-bit hexadecimal address. IPv6 provides a large address space and it contains a simple header as compared to v4. The IPv4 is a protocol for use on packet switch link layer network, for example on your Ethernet. The IPv6 is more advanced and has better features as compared to IPv4. And the v4 and v6 is the appearance of the IP addresses. v4 uses 4 1-byte decimal number separated by a dot, just like your 192, 168, then dot 1.1. Okay, while IPv6 uses hexadecimal number that are separated by one colon symbol, just like FE80, then the two columns are there, then D4A8, then the columns are there. Okay, so like such a manner, this address is your related to your v6, whereas v4 uses 4 1-byte decimal. So 4 sections are there, 192, 168, 1.1. Okay, so see this example. When you go for the network connection detail, as per network connection detail, it is showing you the v4 IP of your system, just like here it is showing you 10.10.16.49. okay, and as per your link local v6 address is there, which is FE80 colon D4A8 colon 6435 colon D2DA colon D9F3 percentage, then 11 is there. Okay, so here you got the idea that the IPv4 is part with one dot symbol with a 4 section, and v6 is having partition with colon symbol. Okay, so by your network connection detail you are able to visualize the v4 address and your v6 address. Okay, now what are the major difference between v4 and v6? So these things we have to remember. As per IPv4, the number of bits on IP address is your 32, whereas number of bits on your IP address as per v6 is 128, and format is your IPv4 is related to your decimal, whereas v6 is related to your hexadecimal. Then your capable of addresses is IPv4 is related to 4.3 billion, whereas V6 is infinite numbers are there. Okay, and for the ping, whenever you are ping the IP address for V4 concept, you should use the ping then the number like such a format, whereas V6 is ping 6 is to be written. Okay, now the V6 and V4 concept is having some advantage also. So now here we will be discuss about whatever the advantage of V6 over of V4. Okay, so if you are using V6, then what advantages you are getting as compared to V4. Okay, so IPv6 simplifies the router task compared to IPv4, and IPv6 is more compatible to mobile network than IPv4. IPv6 allows for bigger payloads than what is allowed in IPv4, and V6 is used by less than 1% of network, where if you are using V4, it is still in use by the remaining 99% of network. Okay, now how to configure that IP? On Windows, setting a static IP address to your device is an essential configuration that may be required in many scenarios. For example, when you plan for share of files or sharing of printer or local network, so when trying to configure, the port forwarding concept is to use. Okay, so in the previous topic already I had discussed about the port forwarding concept also. Now if you do not assign the static IP address, service or a port forwarding configuration will eventually stop working. Okay, so be remember this thing. If you do not assign a static IP, means if you are not assigned the static IP, then service or port forwarding configuration will eventually stop working. Okay, it is not work. So first you have to assign the static IP, then only you can forward the port and you can provide the service to others. This is because by default connected device use dynamic IP address assigned by the dynamic host configuration protocol, that is your DHCP server, usually the router, which can change as soon as you restart your machine or after the dynamical assigned configuration expired. Okay, so when you restart your system, automatically it change depend upon setting up DHCP. In this section we will learn the step to set a static IP as per V4 concept, okay, to your Windows device when it is providing a service on the network, or we are simply configure the port forwarding to your device on the router. Okay, so we can also configure our router to assign the static IP using the DHCP setting, that is your dynamic host configuration protocol setting. Now how you should assign? How to assign static IP address using control panel? So if command prompt is not for you, it is possible to use the control panel also, better, because if you are using the Windows format, so better go for the control panel where the graphics formats are there, and in that place you are easily assign the static IP. Otherwise you can move for the command prompt where you are able to check it. Now see, use this step for static IP configuration. First is your open your control panel, go for network and internet option. Okay, now click on network sharing center. So this window will be displayed. This one is your network and sharing center. Click on change adapter setting option on the left navigation pane. Okay, change adapter setting. Clear? So after clicking this one, right click the network adapter and select the properties option. Now select the internet protocol, that is your TCP IP v4 option. Okay, this one. Then after selecting, you should click the properties. So after clicking in properties button, select the use the following IP address option. Okay, now set the IP address, for example 10.1.2.220. You may set anything, okay, just like as per your requirement. Set the subnet mask usually on a home network, that is your 255.255.255.0. Okay. Okay. So here see, the obtain an IP address automatically is there. So which is automatically going on changing depend upon your DHCP address. Okay. And if you want to assign the static IP as a fix, so here you can assign it. Set the default gateway. The address is typically your router IP address, for example 10.1.2.1. Now under the use the following DNS server address, set the preferred DNS server section. Set the preferred DNS server address, which is usually your router IP address or the IP address for the server providing DNS resolution, for example 10.1.2.1. okay, so preferable address is there. And as for 13, the optional, set the alternative DNS server which your computer will use if it cannot reach the preferred server. And after that click on OK, then you should close it. Okay. So by that concept we complete the step. We can open the web browser and try loading a website to see if the configuration is working or not. Okay. So like such a manner you are able to set the IPv4 setup. And here you got the idea about the main difference between your V4 and V6, and we know the V6 is having some advantage, more advantage as compared to V4. Okay. Next is your network programming. So what is the network programming? Network programming involves writing programs that communicate with other programs across a computer network. There are many issues that arise when doing network programming which do not appear when doing single program application. Okay. So what does network programming do? The network program involves writing computer program that enable process to communicate with each other across a computer network. Okay. So what does network programming do? Now the computer network programming involves writing computer programs that enable processes to communicate with each other across a computer network. Then connection oriented and connectionless communication. Generally most of the communication can be divided into connection oriented and connectionless. Whether a communication is a connection oriented or connectionless is defined by the communication protocol and not by application programming interface, that is your API. For example, the example of the connection oriented protocol includes transmission control protocol and sequence packet exchange, that is your TCP and SPX. And examples of connectionless protocol include user datagram protocol, that is your UDP, and raw IP, and the internet work packet exchange, that is your IPX. Okay. Then client and servers. For connection oriented communication, communication parties usually have different roles. One party is usually waiting for incoming connection, and this party is usually referred to as a server, and another party is the one which initiates connection, and this party is usually referred to as a client. Okay. So here the server and client is there. So what is that server? The party usually waiting for incoming connection, and this party is referred as server. So server means what? Where incoming connections are there, and another party is there which initiates the connection, that is called your client. Which one is your party? Usually referred to as client. Okay. So here server and client, two parties are there. Okay. And for connectionless communication, one party means your server is usually waiting for an incoming packet, and another party, that is your client, is usually understood as the one which sends an unsolicited packet to the server. Popularly protocols and APIs are, now some popular protocols are there, that is your network programming traditional covers different layers of OSI or ISO models. Most of the application levels programming belongs to L4 and up. Okay, so now see the OSI or ISO layer or protocol of API is there, L3 network is there, internet protocol or raw packet is there, L4 transport is there, and TCP is there, or UDP is there, or HTTP is there. Okay, then L5 session is TLS is there, OpenSSL is there, and L7 application is there related to your HTTP or various things are there. Okay.